Welcome to the Bulls Guys podcast. I'm your host, Kenyatta Wright Kdub, and this is my co-host, Kataka.
What's going on? It's KG in the house. What's up, people? Long time.
Man, Kataka, it's been a long time, man. We've been trying to get on this podcast, man. The Bulls didn't really give us much to podcast over, but lately there's been a lot of things going on, my brother. And we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the firing of AKME. We're going to talk about the LGBTQ controversy.
You forgot the
Um,
G in there too.
yeah, LGBTQ
Yeah, we got it.
controversy, and we're going to talk about the game and the stats. But let's start off with the game, Kataka. This game was a really crazy game, man, for me, man. Watching these clips, man. Obviously, I've tuned out the Bulls ever since like what's been going on and everything like that. But I've
hmm
rejoined and watching them again based on the latest events of things that have been happening, which we'll talk about later in the show. But as far as the game go, man, I'm shocked at what I saw through the clips. This team is actually attacking the basket, man. They're not just shooting jumpers. As I looked at the stats, they attempted just 45 threes in this game compared to 95 field goals in this game. So, and then judging by the tape of what I've seen of the
hmm
game, the recording of the game, these guys are really attacking the rim. They're getting out and running, and they just look different. They're being more aggressive. Patrick Williams is actually in the post, posting up. We have
hmm
Yabasuli. I don't know how to say his name. I'm bad with pronouncing names, ladies and gentlemen.
Yabusele. Yeah, Yabusele.
Yabaseli.
Yeah.
Uh, I saw a couple clips where he was posting up and getting into the rim and getting something at the rim. He also was out there shooting threes as well. So this guy's
hmm
real versatile, big. So I like his addition to the team. But it's crazy because I look around and most of these guys that are on this team, man, they weren't here to start the season. So, and
hmm
then we're playing different.
hmm
Um, Maybe that's because of the latest events that happened. I don't know. Somebody get fired, everybody just start playing different. Everybody start coaching different as far as Billy Donovan. So
hmm
give me your opinion of this game tonight. The Bulls go out there and completely blow out Washington, a horrible team. But
hmm
at the end of the day, we've been losing to a lot of bad teams too this year. So anytime the Bulls could win against anybody, it's still a shock.
Yeah, I caught the butt end of the game, like the second half. And yeah, man, you're right. It's been a while since I watched the Bulls game because, I just can't watch no losing. But this particular game here, I did notice that both teams were running fast pace.
Hmm.
It was no half court whatsoever. Both teams was just running and gunning. Get a rebound, they doing fast, a lot of fast breaks. Um, One thing I do want to note, looking at these stats, it's a lot of cats on the Bulls team that got a huge plus minus. I don't know if anybody know what plus minus means. If you're in the plus.
Hmm.
There's just a percentage when it comes to when that player's on the court, how effective, they are with the offense. It's a lot of plus minus. I think the highest one is, believe it or not, Patrick Williams. He
Hmm.
was a plus 25, and Dillingham was a plus 24.
I like that
You,
kid, by the way.
I like him too. He's getting acclimated. I think Billy is really trying to get a lot out of him because
Uh-huh.
he has a knock on him by not really grasping the
Uh-huh.
NBA,
Yep.
but since he's been on the Bulls, man, he's been growing.
Right.
He's taking selective shots. His 3 point percentage is getting a little bit better,
Right.
and he may have found a home. So yeah, Sexton the plus 21, Miller the plus 20. So yeah, I think we got some guys, man, that these new guys. I think we found a couple of hidden gems in Dillingham,
Miller.
Sexton, Miller, definitely Miller, and Yabusele. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So when it comes to, I'm just curious to see what's going to happen in the
And
offseason.
I'm gonna tell you, like Dylan Yabaseli,
hmm
he reminds me of Ed Curry, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
With a better 3-point shooting, yes.
His game and his build and everything about him reminds me of Eddie Curry, man.
Yeah, yeah. The guy can he can shoot. He's a big body. That's the dude. I think that's the dude that poked on. Yeah, he poked on LeBron in the Olympics. Go
What?
look
You
at
ever
go
said
look.
it?
Yep, go look at that clip. Go
I
look at you got
definitely am now, right after I get off this podcast.
you got to look at that clip. Yeah, he actually poked on LeBron in the Olympics. I don't know which Olympics, but yeah, he poked on him. But the thing is, Yabusele is he's on the other side of 30.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It was rumored that he might want to go play back overseas because he's from France. So, but he may want to stay here now that he got getting some playing time. So it's gonna be interesting.
I never got why people players want to go play would rather play overseas than play in the NBA. I never got that. Maybe I'm biased towards my league in here in the United States. I would never want to play overseas rather than the NBA, but that's just me. But
Hmm.
Yabusele has something that I feel like the Bulls are missing. You
Yeah.
don't have a lot of players that have a post game and that they're going to be sitting right there in the paint to receive the ball to score. It's like
Hmm.
he has to set the tone as far as like how the team is supposed to play. A player like him that plays primarily inside.
Hmm.
We don't have nobody that's like him. We got players that do it occasionally. Like I seen Patrick Williams do a little bit of it tonight. We
Hmm.
know Miller can do it. I've seen Miller do it in person and in our past games. I've seen him do a little bit of that. Dillingham, I haven't seen too much of what he can do, even though I've been at the game, at the Sixers game, well, a
Hmm.
couple of days ago on the 25th of March. I was at the game in person. I didn't see too much of him.
Yeah.
But long story short, this is the only guy that primarily is functions his game inside of the paint. And I
Yeah.
think that's very important asset for the Bulls to go in the right direction. I like what I saw tonight because
Yeah.
one of the constant things with me has been this team constantly shooting threes. And
Yeah.
I'm not against three-point shooting. You
Hmm.
know, listen, it's just as important as any other asset to the game or how you score.
Hmm.
But these nerves, as Charles Barkley would call them, they just figured out that, oh, if we devise our offense where all teams can do is shoot threes, that we're better off.
Yeah.
Analytics. That's the
Mm.
word I'm looking for that these guys have implemented into the game and felt like it would be better. I don't like
Right.
analytics. Why? Because that's saying basically, regardless of how the game goes, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
No, you have to go based on how what the defense gives you.
Right.
So you telling me if defense gives you an inside shot, you're not going to take it. You rather run to the 3-point line and take a shot where you're going to be defended rather than go all the way to the paint where you're not defended. It just
Right.
doesn't make any logical sense to me.
Yeah.
But
But
this team,
prime
but
example what you're saying. Sorry to cut you off. Since you mentioned you said something pretty key about them the 3-point shoot. They only shot 33%,
right,
but field goal is 49%.
and they shot more field goals than they did threes,
Yep.
and they shot a better percentage. So it's like it's okay, man. Everybody's not a 3-point sniper. And we have to go back to how the game used to be. Just score. I don't care what you get. Just, you know what the objective really is? Score more than the other team.
Right.
As long as we can score more than the other team on the opposite side, I don't give a damn. We get twos, layups,
Hmm.
free throws, whatever. As long as we can get more points than our opponent and shut them down. Because at the end of the day, whether you shoot twos or threes, Kataka, you still got to shut down the other team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're
And
still ignoring the defensive side that really, really matters. 3-point shots don't matter. You could shoot threes all day and get 160 points in threes, Kataka. But guess what? If the other team scores 170, you still lost.
right.
You shot a lot of threes and you made a lot and you got 160, but you still lost. Why? Because the number one objective is to stop the other team from scoring, what you didn't do.
Yeah.
So these analytic guys with these threes and all of this concepts that they have, no, defense wins the game, bro. I'm an old school guy. Defense always wins.
And I
And
think
if we
that's
could get back to doing that, the Bulls
uh-huh.
would get back to where they supposed to be.
Yeah, I think what's different from before the trade and after the trade is that before the trade, you had a lot of guys. We was more offensively oriented for some reason. Everybody, the players we had were all about offense. Yeah, with the exception of Ayo, he was probably the only one that was all about defense and playing both ends. But this new these new group of guys, they got more experience. They're more experienced and they're legit ballers. You know what I mean? They play on both sides. They just ain't all about scoring. They all about, getting the passing lane and blocking shots and you know what I'm saying? So I mean I just see a different flow.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're more team or it's not a lot of ISO. Even with Colin Sexton, yeah, he's a scorer, but he's also can be a pass first type of guard.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dillingham, he's the same way. A little taller, but yeah. So I kind of like this team. I'm just curious of who's gonna stay. Now that we're gonna talk about that in a minute. We got rid of management. There's gonna be a lot of changes, and they got like $65 million of cap space, and then that first apron they got a total 115 million. So that's a lot of money. So I'm just curious to
Mhm.
see who gonna stay and who gonna come.
Well, the number one thing that I didn't like when I was at the game, you made some really good points, Kataka, because the fact that they got that cap space and the fact that they got these new guys, they have versatility out there that we're headed in the right direction. Because what I noticed about the last teams that we had a lot of guys that played like a guard. We didn't have no
Hmm.
other guys that could post up, that could
Hmm.
score inside. We didn't have no guys that could play like a power forward, and we didn't
Hmm.
have no guys that could get on the boards and block shot. We didn't have guys that could do multiple different things.
Right.
And we have that now. We don't have a team full of guards. One of the
Yep.
number one red flags that I noticed when I went to the Sixers game on the 25th, the Bulls had 2 point guards on the floor, brother. You know how much assists that they had between the two of them?
Yeah.
3 assists, bro. And those 2 point guards that were on the floor was Sexton and Jones. And they both were the leading scorers on the floor.
Yeah. Too small point. Yeah.
Why do you have 2 point guards on the floor that are not dishing it off? They only getting 3 assists between both of them. Combined, they both had three
Yeah.
assists.
Yeah.
That's bad, bro. That's bad.
Yeah.
You have to pass the ball. That's your primary job as a point guard. And they
Yep.
were the primary scorers for the team on the floor as point guards. That's the primary problem for this team. We have to put guys in roles. Point guards is never supposed to be your leading scorers. Never. Unless they're the best player of the team and they're the face of the team. Because we have players that have been point guards for teams and they were the face, and they get their 20 to 30 points, but they also get 10 assists, Kataka.
Yeah.
They also fulfill that other job and know that their job is not just to score. And they score accordingly. They don't just
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I'm going to take these points." They take it when it's necessary.
Yeah. And I think the reason we in this situation, we're gonna get to that in a minute. It's because of Acme, or
Right.
AK, the
Well,
first
let me run
half
down the
of it.
stats and then we're going to get to all of that business
Yeah.
on the other half. So the Bulls from the field shot 46%. Um, Washington, no, they shot 48%. I'm
49.
sorry.
Yeah.
Washington shot 43%. From 3 point, the Bulls shot 15 to 45. They need to stop shooting them damn threes.
That's a lot of
Washington
attempts.
shot 11 for 38. 3 point land, the Bulls shot 33%. Washington shot 28%. Both teams shot horrible from the three. Maybe
Hmm.
that's a sign that we need to go back to the way the game used to be.
Yep.
Free throw percentage, Bulls shot 81%, Washington shot 61%. Total rebounds, the Bulls had 52, the Washington 46. Offensive rebounds, the Bulls had 9, Washington had 8. Defensive rebounds, the Bulls had 43, Washington had 38. Team assists, the Bulls had 35. Good job. Washington had 22. Both teams were tied with 7 blocks. Steals, the Bulls had 14 and Washington had 8. I like that stat right there.
And in that passing lane.
14 steals. They was getting out and running, man, with those
Yep.
steals. I like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Fast.
Turnovers, got to keep the turnovers down. Had 13 turnovers. Washington had more than us, 21. 13 still high for me for the Bulls to have 13 turnovers. Points off turnovers. Here's where the telltale sign of the steals come in. 22 points off the turnovers for the Bulls, 3 for Washington.
Yep.
And that might be the difference in the game right there. Those points off turnovers right there.
That and free throws.
Yep. Fast break points. Another telltale sign of this game. 31 points for the Bulls off fast break points. Washington had 14. 56 points in the paint. The Bulls attacking the paint area. I talked about that.
Yep.
Washington had 44. So with these stats, man, and Bulls also the largest lead in this game was 37. Washington largest lead in this game was 4. So with these stats, Kataka, just these stats alone could tell you the difference in. And I know this is just one game, but we ain't never seen those stats like this in a while with
Mm-mm.
the Bulls.
Mm-mm.
Let's just be for real. When the last time we seen stats like this?
That they dominated like that.
Steals and all of that stuff, points
Yeah,
off of turnovers.
it ain't many. It
We
ain't
haven't
many.
seen that because first of all, they ain't been playing defense at all.
Nah, they usually trying to. Most teams are, probably would have had like 100. They'd be like 131 to 129, something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't been a blowout.
All right, man. We're gonna get to my boy Ivy last because that's a sensitive topic, and we're gonna end the show off with that.
Okay.
But let's talk about Acme finally being replaced. If anybody have been following our podcast, they know and they be following Bullseye Group on Facebook. They know that my constant message has been I've been very, very highly frustrated with the management. And I felt like they skipped out on a lot of players that we could have had in the trade deadline. What's your thoughts, Kataka, on on this firing? It seems like it's a complete culture shift by us getting
hmm
rid of these guys.
Man, I didn't believe it at first when I saw that headline because I was keeping up with the Chicago Sky and trading Angel Reese, and then after that I seen this. It caught me off guard. I mean, it was I would say it's 5 years overdue.
Hmm.
Um, Change need to happen. I mean, because if you think about it, big market, you got all this cap space.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You got a few key pieces that you can build around, and if you know, and the possibility of having two first round picks,
Hmm.
depending on what Portland do, it's like, do you really trust AK to draft? He hasn't been the best when it comes to drafting. So when you got all those chips in your lap, you know what I mean? You know what? Something has to change because we can't let AK mess this up. It was a lot of pressure on management, on the ownership. So a change had to be done.
Hmm.
So we got to start off at the top. Um, I'm just curious to see who they're going to bring in. And it sounds like that they really, really like Billy,
Hmm.
and they want Billy to be here. But the question is, does Billy want to be here? And I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to stay.
Well, I know he wants to stay because he didn't get the job that he was trying to get.
Right. I
And
don't even
number
know.
two, I know he wants to stay because I ain't never seen him coach this team the way he coached them tonight, and I ain't never seen them play the way they did tonight. See, sometimes you got to make an example out of some people, Kataka, for somebody to get the message loud and clear.
Hmm.
These two guys were his bosses and they got fired. So what stops him from getting fired?
Hmm.
See what I'm saying? You got to punch the biggest person in the mouth to make the other small person get it. He know that he on the hot seat. I don't give a damn what Michael Ronsdorf said. How much he like him. Michael Ronsdorf probably said good things about Acme too before he fired them. That don't
Think
mean
about it
your
like
job is protected.
think about it like this, though. If Are there some other options out there, though? Because
Listen,
you
I
might,
don't even care, bro. At this point, somebody else could get a shot.
yeah,
We've done it before. We fired people and brought in interim coaches. Like, listen, man, I'd rather just see something different, anything different. Because at the end of the day, I know that for a fact Billy Donovan can't get it done. I don't give a damn if Acme ain't here or not. Billy Donovan is still a coach.
yeah, I think
And to me, he coaches like a college coach.
I agree with you, and I think what they're thinking is that, um, I'm not saying his seat could very well be on the I guarantee. I tell you this, and I'm gonna say this on the air. If Billy stays, this is his do or die situation because they're gonna give him the right management
Hmm.
to support him. They're gonna get him the players that he wants,
Right,
whether in the draft and in free agency. And Billy got to go out there and he gonna have to prove it. If he doesn't prove it this year, because they never did state how long his extension was,
right.
he has to prove it on this go around. Ain't no excuses. And if he
Nah.
doesn't, and they come out looking, I can't know if I want to curse on here, but if they come out looking crappy by halfway point, yeah, Billy be gone before the end of the season. And I know they don't fire coaches, mid-season, but Billy might be that one exception if they don't come out and do something right.
Well, first of all, the reason why they probably won't fire him, even though I want it so bad, I think they're gonna try to see what they're gonna get from him starting next year, which I think is a bad idea. I think
Hmm.
Billy is what he is. I think you need a winning coach that has a winning background. But I think they're gonna give him one more shot without Acme. I keep on trying to call them guard packs.
Might
Maybe
as
I
well
got
call
them
them guard
guys' name
pats.
in my mind, huh?
Might as well call them guard pats.
They were better than these guys that we just
They
let
they
go.
they did barely, but they did.
Yeah. No, they no,
Yeah.
they don't barely. They got us to playoff series and all of that
Well,
to the
you're
Eastern
right.
Conference
They
Finals.
did with the Derrick Rose era. Yeah, you're right about that.
They got us to the Eastern Conference Finals. They got us Derrick Rose. Listen, guard packs was bad, but they did some stuff, man. They got stuff on their collar that they could look at and say and pop their collar, bro, off of.
Yeah,
They did some stuff. Acme ain't even been out the first round, bro, and they only got one playoff appearance to their name. Like they can't hold guard packs jockstrap.
and we barely got that. That's because we had a hot start and we slowly trickled down
Yeah.
once Lonzo went out. But
Our
yeah,
frustrations with guard packs is they couldn't get us to the championship
yeah,
to win the whole thing. But make no mistake about it, they made us competitive.
yeah.
That's where
And
the
that was
frustration was. But sometimes you got to lose something to realize how good you had it. We never won a title, but we still had it good with guard packs. We was competitive. We was in playoff series. You know what I mean? So maybe we took it for granted. Us Bulls fans are kind of spoiled. We want to see rings.
I
And if
think
we
it was
don't
the
see
coaching.
rings, it's like it's nothing, huh?
I think it was the coaching at that time. It wasn't even the management, it was the coaching.
Right.
So
But I think it was the right move to fire these guys. I feel like they had well enough time. They've been here for what, 4 or 5 years, and
six, yep.
you only had one playoff series to your name, man. And it's like some of the decisions that they made. Like I found myself, I seen myself always raising my eyebrow, like, why did that happen? You
Hmm.
passed over every player. One player was Evan Turner that they could have got.
Halliburton,
Halliburton, you passed over on him in the draft. I don't know if it was them that was in charge when Draymond Green got passed over. I think Garpax was the one that
yeah,
passed on him. But
yeah, I think guard Pats.
you overextended Patrick Williams and pay him $90 million even though he hasn't done worth of crap.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of decisions that you like. I'm trying to figure out why you made that decision. And it was like I just looked at it as they were being stubborn. They built this project and they were trying to justify that it should be. And it's like, come on, man, like the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah,
And listen, it's okay to admit when you're wrong, Kataka. It's okay. Just when you see that you were wrong, make some adjustments. They weren't willing to do that. That's the problem.
yeah. Don't blow smoke up our tails during media day. To my yeah, we're gonna be competitive. We're gonna run it back.
You pissed in my cup and told me it was lemonade, bro, even though I knew it was piss. Come on,
Right.
man. Like I know this shit ain't gonna work, and I know it's garbage, and you trying to
It's
sell it to me and tell me it's good, bro. It ain't good.
it's all foam and and get foam in it and stuff, and they're trying to say it is lemonade.
Yeah, come on, man. Like I know this product doesn't work, bro. I've seen it for the last 5, 6 years, and you trying to tell me it's gonna work, even though we've seen it didn't. And not
Right.
only did you not make, you didn't even make any changes from the roster. The same roster went to the play, and then you brought the same roster back and expected. What's that saying? doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like you expected just to magically them to win the championship, go from playing to win the championship. You ain't make no changes. And while
I
we're not making changes, Kataka, other teams are making changes and getting much better than they were. But and we couldn't beat them before they made the changes.
I think what pissed me off about Acme is that he always drafted the same type of player.
Yep.
Like you would get guys like he drafted like Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry, two guys, and Patrick Williams, three guys.
Julian Phillips was all right though. I ain't gonna lie. I liked him a little
Yeah,
bit.
he's starting to get into his groove. But when we didn't need, actually, I mean, if you're not going to, mold these guys to, to be the players they need to be, they was drafting projects. All those guys pretty much were known for defense, but couldn't score a lick. They couldn't
Yep.
shoot for nothing.
Yep.
So that's what I was one major problem I had with Acme.
The only team in the world and the whole time I've been watching the NBA in my whole life, the only young team I've seen that won a title
Hmm.
was the Golden State Warriors. That's the only team I've seen that they drafted the same cast. Those guys were still fairly young when they went to the finals and they won a title. That's the only team. And OKC went to the finals, but they didn't win. But that's the only team I've ever seen that you drafted guys and you made a project out of young guys and they actually went to the finals and won.
What about Boston?
Those guys wasn't really young. Tatum and them was in the league for a while. I mean, you
Yeah,
could consider them young as well. I mean, but it's still rare. That's only two teams though, man. It doesn't happen
yeah,
every day. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's like it's hard and if you do that, Kataka, right?
Hmm.
Those young players have to be exceptionally good.
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about like on Tatum level, LeBron level, they gotta be those type players. Curry level for you to just win off of them and they still young.
yeah.
They gotta be exceptionally good. And not every player has those gifts.
And
These
they
are
have to know
special
their
kind of
role
players we're
too.
talking about that went to the finals and did this.
Yeah, they have to know their role too. No, you can't have a bunch of guys that don't know, their own purpose. Like you said, you can't have everybody shooting threes.
Nah, but
You
it's
gotta have
not
it.
even the 3-point shooting. You gotta find your niche. Like when Golden State was doing that, that was their niche.
Hmm.
That's what they were good at. Everybody's not as good as them at shooting threes. Just because you implement the same strategy doesn't mean you're going to be as good as it as they were.
Right,
You have to get players that can hit it at the same rate as they doing it. This guy
right.
Curry was shooting from the middle of the court, bro. Who was doing that? He's a different level, bro. You can't
Yeah,
replace him. You can't replicate that, bro.
right, right.
So to try to even replicate what he does is insane, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
How many players you see today shooting from that range regularly?
That can actually hit it. Not many.
Not
I've seen
many.
I've seen some attempt and might get a few, like Trey Young, but
Yeah, so
that's
we running out of time, man. Let's go to this topic with we got about 9 minutes left. Let's go into this Ivy situation, Kataka, man.
mhm.
Listen, I'm neutral. YouTube, you're gonna hear me say some things in here that's probably gonna offend you, but I promise you, I'm not trying to offend you. It's just 100% how I feel. And YouTube, I apologize as well. I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm just trying to give my opinion on a sensitive matter that's sensitive to the public.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna let you go first, Kataka, and comment on this Ivy situation.
Yeah, for those who don't know how all of this, got started, the Bulls they typically have special appreciation nights for different things. The military, they might do a fan appreciation. But this one here is, and I've been to a bunch of these Bulls games when they had those type of nights is when they have LBGTQ.
Hmm.
And Ivy had pretty much had an issue with, the Bulls running this type of program. And it's okay, I mean, to have your beliefs, especially when it comes to religion. I'm not knocking him in religion. I'm a religious person myself, but
Hmm.
I'm a firm believer that if you're a public figure, you cannot use your platform for certain things because you may hurt your brand, You
Hmm.
inherit the brand of your employer.
So the NBA was protecting it. Well, not the NBA. The Chicago Bulls were protecting their brand.
It's protecting their brand. Yes. So they had to make a decision. They had to, waive him. Now, what I
Same reason why I gave my disclosure to protect my brand.
exactly. What I didn't like is the fact that they should have, before they waived him, they should have helped that man with his mental illness because obviously they knew that he may have had, you know, an issue mentally.
Hmm.
Um, and now the dude is right now preaching on the streets. I don't know if you saw that.
Nah,
So
I haven't, but I heard like people telling me.
yeah,
I
there's a
think it was
video
you
out
that
there.
told me that on the phone that he was preaching on the streets.
Yep, there's a
He has a
video out there him
psychological problem.
preaching on the streets, and yeah, I mean he has mental illness, so I think that's where they Bulls are getting some scrutiny from, is the fact that how can you waive this man, and it's apparent that he's suffering from mental illness, and help him get seek some help versus
Mhm.
just cutting him.
Right. Um, my thing is this, man. Like, I think that he has the freedom, just like everybody else in America has the freedom to speak their mind on
Hmm.
how they feel about topics of this nature. The same way that he has the right to be against LGBTQ um pride and all of this stuff like that that they celebrate, the same way
Hmm.
that they have a right to be not okay with him.
Hmm.
This is America. Everybody has the right to oppose whatever.
Hmm.
Just because you're a part of that movement doesn't mean I have to support it. And
Hmm.
I'm well within my rights to not have to support it. And if you're confident in your movement, why do you need me to support it to be proud of what you do? Be proud of it anyways, even if nobody liked it.
Hmm.
There's things I've said on Bullseye, and there's things I've said on the air, Kataka, and there's things I've said related to sports in my career that nobody liked. But did I care? No, I still said it and I stuck to my word
Hmm.
because it's what I believed in, and I'm never gonna let anybody sway my belief.
Hmm.
Now, here's the part where I'm against both sides.
Hmm.
I don't like the LGBTQ community because they feel like just because they're practicing this movement that they can force it on other people and we have to do it what they say. And we do not have to do what y'all say. Basically, you're using your movement to socialize other people and their opinions and say that they can't have their opinion. But on the other side and the flip side, while I defend the LGBTQ, yes, I am sticking up for y'all as well in this. Nobody else has the right to attack them for celebrating their thing.
Hmm.
This is where
Hmm.
we have a problem in the United States of America because people don't know how to respect each other's views. We want to
Hmm.
force people to think like us. And when we do that, Kataka, we have socialism. We have to allow people to be who they are. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And we have to learn how to respect people's boundaries and what they are and what they celebrate and what they believe in on both sides. I'm
Yep.
not taking Ivy's side and I'm not taking the Pride community side. Both sides need to respect each other. That's
Hmm.
the most fairest way I can say it without offending either side.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's man, it's a touchy
It
situation,
is. It's very touchy.
and I know the Bulls didn't want to lose, a good portion of their fan base. Um, but
But he
yeah, I
shouldn't
mean,
have said nothing about it though. He should have kept it to himself, to be honest with you.
yeah, he should have kept it to himself, regardless. I don't know if it was like I said, I don't know his mental state right now, but yeah, some things like when you're in the public, say in the public figure, you do have a freedom of speech, but you have to know when to use
To
that
express
right.
that freedom of speech. Yep.
Exactly. So, yeah,
Well, I hope he get the help he needs, man. You know what I
me
mean?
too.
He seemed like a brother that got a good head on his shoulders. He's practicing Christianity, reading the Bible. But I
Mhm.
just, he can't use his religion to attack others.
Yeah.
Um,
And he was doing good, man. I think the Bulls wanted to get him a contract. He was due for a payday.
no, he was one of the top guys with the Detroit Pistons. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
guess that imagine that he would have gotten a offer. If he wouldn't have got an offer from us, he definitely would have got an offer on the open market.
Hmm.
He's a solid player. Somebody
Yeah.
like that. Any team would want him. He's young.
Yeah.
Coming from a program in Detroit, he's one of their top players. From a good program in Detroit. So you know he's tough if he played for the Detroit Pistons, you know?
Right, you got to be tough playing for them cats, man.
Yeah, and they've been able to carry that culture even after the bad boys. They got a tough program
Yeah.
over there. Joe Dumars still over there?
Yeah, I think he still has something to do with them over there.
Yeah, so that probably got something to do with why they still, replicating their old ways and their old moniker of defense and hard-nosed basketball,
Yeah.
That's what they're about. The same way how the Bulls had their identity and should still have that identity of defense. Detroit just was there was a physical team back then, man. The Bad Boy Pistons, man. And even when they won in 2004, that
Hmm.
2004 team even had like a bit of toughness to them.
Yeah, with Rashid. Yeah.
Yeah, they were a defensive team with Ben Wallace, Sheed, and
Yep.
and Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups and
Yep.
Tayshaun Prince.
Yep.
They had a real good defensive squad there that hang their hat on defense.
Yep.
And they beat the Lakers with Shaq
Hmm.
and Kobe and Karl Malone and Gary Payton, man.
Yeah, nobody expected them to either. So yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and watch that finals because that was an interesting finals to me. But anyway, we're about to wind down, fans, and we're this is the end of the show. We're glad you could join us, and we're back on the air now, and we're gonna be having more shows definitely towards the end of the season and a little bit after. But Kataka, let these people know where they can follow you at.
Y'all can follow me on Facebook, Kataka Mary Satsman Gillespie. You can also find me on Instagram, and you can also find me on TikTok. I'm even on TikTok now. So
All right, Bulls fans. The Bulls win tonight. What was the score? 129 to 98. They blow out the Washington Wizards in a rare occasion. We haven't seen the Bulls win, but they get a big one tonight, and they do it with defense and toughness, inside play, very intelligent coaching by Billy Donovan. Well executed tonight by the Bulls, and they come away with the victory. Thanks for joining us tonight. Until our next show, go Bulls, Chicago.
see red.